From sports to culture, mental health to economics, politics, relationships, and life issues.
Sit down and catch up with Aaron 868 and Ricardo Mitchell as we have casual conversations on serious topics.
Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room.
Sometimes you come into a show like the living room and you wonder what you're here for.
Right.
And then things just flow naturally in life in terms of the recording or the show that we put in forward. But we also have to remember that not everybody has the ability to accept not having a plan. Or everybody has the ability to accept I'm going to wing it.
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody has the ability to accept that I have a plan and I go and follow this plan. And I know you're watching me like, wait, but this is not the way we usually start the show. But I wanted to start with that difference today to show that sometimes you have this plan and you so want to follow the plan and you put on blinders.
Right.
That you forget that you are still a human being. You are still somebody who has to go with the ebbs and flows of life and sometimes roll with the punches, as they would say, or roll with the waves if you're a man into the water and the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we always talk about it having grace with yourself. But we have to remember saying it is one thing, but actually doing it is something different. And I wanted to get that message out before any formalities, because it have people who, as soon as Tony P sign out, go in and leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to catch them in that first minute and something with that message.
Right. Copy that.
Yeah. Was that a good message?
That is fantastic stuff, Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm properly well caught. Were I to be one who would sign off, I might have stayed that extra minute.
Yeah, because we had to remember that we really had to have a little grace with ourselves, right? And we talk about holding ourselves accountable and all these different things, but it is natural to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always how you rebound from those mistakes is what's important.
You come here for me, but
What, you making mistakes?
no. It's just
Actually, no, you have made mistakes in life.
like 6. I mean,
Teen,
they were,
thousand.
but they were big. They were big enough that they warrant revisiting. But you are right. Grace with yourself. The thing is, the reason that message is important for me in particular is because I do have grace with myself even when I don't make mistakes. I will get it right and still look for the ways to get it righter.
Yeah, because I was listening to the reborn version of the Monday Morning podcast
Oh, it
with
starts.
Kivo and Kyle.
It starts. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'll go take it.
Right, two persons that I think you all would have interviewed across on Chit Chat,
That's right. Yeah.
right? And they interviewed the most popular podcaster now in Trinidad and Tobago, Corey Shepherd, to kick off. And they talked about the fact, Corey spoke about the fact that to record his first episode,
Mm-hmm.
it took him 8 hours to record an hour and a half.
Right.
Because he just wanted to get right. But sometimes, you just have to start, get done, and put it out.
Yeah.
So, like, we apply that to the real life. Now, we'll get down to the formalities of the show in a couple of minutes. But again, I'm just trying to capture everybody with this message first.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the resume and you don't like it, still send it out.
Right.
Because then you'll at least have a base of somewhere to start from.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a DJ and you don't like the mix you put out, record it and put it out still, because you have a base of where you could remove it after,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a base of something. The feedback could help.
Yeah.
If you are a graphic artist or something of the sort, get the first graphic out.
Yeah.
You have a point of reference. If you're working on a project, get that first meeting out of the way so that you could feel out your team and know what you can and cannot do.
Yeah, but don't spend so much time planning for the meeting that you never get
You
around
never
to the
get
meeting.
around to the meeting.
Yeah.
If if you are looking to tackle the young lady or the young man, send the first message. Now, I'm not saying you have to be single to send the message in the first place and all that. You have to meet certain standards. But all I'm saying is, send the message. Hi, how are you? Don't be so afraid of the rejection of tackling the person that you don't tackle.
I hear you.
What?
No. You're right. I mean, meeting the right person can change your life. However, deliberating, approaching that person.
But I could make it not meet them in the first place. Yeah, so yeah.
Because while you planning and preparing and lollygagging somebody else who
Somebody
don't
done-
have as much to offer already.
Somebody done in the DMs already.
Yeah. Somebody who might not be the right person for them, but they were right there. Whoa, while you were waiting for the right time. Yeah, I get you.
If you're in the DMs, slide.
I hear you.
No. But I'm going to recap
I
that.
know that you're not talking about yourself because you have already been
I've already been here.
right
I'm off the market.
off the market.
Right? But in my previous days, actually, I could say it. I slid into my wife's DMs. First time in my life I ever messaged somebody on IG.
And you get married.
And I get married. But also, don't judge based on other people's success, because other people's success is not your success.
Yeah.
And other people's failure is not your failure. So, walk your own journey too. With that being said, before Ricardo goes any further into singing, let's kick off this program and start it properly now, as we always do. All right? Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
Give thanks.
Secondly, we have to say thank you to those that when we fought on there, we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, except reiterate and the state with the chest that Columbus lied, but also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, with the P this week stands for.
Planless.
What?
Planless. I mean, you mentioned, Aaron, at the beginning of the program that sometimes you have a plan and sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes you have a plan and things don't go according to plan.
Yeah, boy.
Right? Now, when I say planless, that is what I'm referring to. I am not referring to any political leaders talking about other political leaders. I'm just saying. That is not what I was referring to when I said planless. I was talking about what DJ Aaron 868 said about not being able to wing it sometimes, or being overly reliant on having things structured and going exactly according to one's personal desires. That is what I mean. No way, form, or fashion was that a political statement. I bet you didn't expect that, Aaron.
And then some time passed before I talk
Oh,
again.
you're trying to, you're right, just in case they have to cut anything
Yeah.
out of the program. Well done, sir, well done.
And they could crop the screen from like right here. Nah, but really and truly, I have been trying my best to take a break from following politics.
Yeah.
My life has been a little more boring without it.
Okay, all right, well, that's not bad.
But one thing I will say is when you're not following it, it just gives you a sense of relaxation.
I find that when I'm not paying as close attention, I am more relaxed. However, being caught unawares, it kind of it brings me straight back to that point of frustration or annoyance.
Yeah, because some of the things now, I took that break last week into
Yeah.
this weekend, and then this morning I was catching up on a couple things, and I said to myself, wait boy, some of this is really nonsensical for us to be going on about. Whereas some things like, yeah, well, that is an issue that needs addressing.
Yeah.
But again, it's that level of discernment to know what to and not to put your attention behind.
And you don't always have the bandwidth to keep filtering. So sometimes if you just have to switch off, unplug, that's fine too. That's fine.
One thing I could say for me that has helped since Lent had started as Ash Wednesday,
Yeah.
I had put a time limit on my phone for the number of hours a day I could spend on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So during Lent, it was 2 hours per day.
All right.
And after Lent, I was like, should I remove this time off, right? And I was like, it actually has made me a little more productive. So instead of removing the timer, what I did was adjusted it. So I have 3 hours per day on social media.
Okay.
And I try to use my 3 hours wisely, where I look at news,
Mm-hmm.
I read up on other topics that I follow online in terms of sports and stuff like that. And then there's the comic factor that I have as well. So it you just have to know how to find that balance. So just how before we talk about you have to be able to navigate plan, no plan, or wing it.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be able to navigate the social space that you create.
Yeah.
Social media space, sorry, that you create.
And again, the same way that you can't measure or you shouldn't measure other people's success
Or failure.
or failure, you also shouldn't use other people's boundaries as your own.
Correct.
And the reason I say that is because 3 hours a day on social media for me is not enough for the things that I would have to do.
I'm not gonna say, but then again, it you have to look at your own circumstance
Yeah.
to create your boundaries. So Ricardo's job demands that level of online presence,
Yeah.
whereas my job doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would say for me is I talk a lot on work.
Yeah.
And I consume a lot of information on work. So after work, I don't want to consume anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a difference. Ricardo's job is to consume that data, and then he can't switch off to an extent.
Yeah.
But I have the ability to switch off, and we now understand that there are different times of the day when you can get certain things out of that person. And when it gets to your relationships, you have to understand that as well. And we're not just talking about husband and wife here.
Yeah.
We're talking about relationships in general. It could be between the parent and the child.
Yes.
You and your brethren.
Mm-hmm.
The girl you're tracking or the man you're tracking.
You and your co-workers.
You and your co-workers.
your schoolmates, your teammates.
Or even your neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, neighbors are an important part of your life.
Right? Or the man who next to you in traffic. Because traffic is an important part of our lives here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Speaking of neighbors, big up Brad, right? He's a mechanic. Awesome guy. Awesome guy.
So you living next to a mechanic and never tell me?
Well, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. In the public sphere. In fact, he fixed Lando van the other day. And when we thought it would have been down for a while, he had it back up and running like the next day, which was our whole vibe. So big up you, Brad. You're real bad. Not just as a mechanic, but he's a legitimate cool dude. Yeah. All talks to the side. Neighbors are important. Speaking of neighbors, NRA, chow, please. We'll get to that some other time.
Send some chow for next week recording.
I just throwing it out.
Mango chow.
Right? Well, what about Friday? You working Friday?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing. You know what? I'll find out about the mango. You know. But yeah, if it's anything,
I have an affinity for mango chow.
So it turns out I want to bomb your shift once or twice again over the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
You know, just have one or two things I want to get a little more comfortable with.
No problem.
Yeah. If that's alright with you.
Kenny studio, your studio. It had my studio, your studio, that Kenny studio, your studio. But honestly, the Friday night lime, I was back on Friday night, last Friday, and it was strange being there by myself for the entirety of the shift.
Alright, so leave you alone then. Like you get accustomed
No,
to it
brother, I
again?
never said that.
You sure?
Yeah.
You missed me?
No, I would not say that publicly
The 4 hours drag out like a 40 days.
Right,
Guys.
yeah. Again, it's because I'm probably not accustomed to. It's been a month.
Right.
And that's the next part of the thing when we talk about grace with yourself too. You have to understand when it's time to rest.
But you come for me, but
Really?
Aaron, alright. I hope this is an interjection and not an interruption.
Go ahead.
Right. When you were speaking, I recognize something. Different people wired differently because they have different purposes. If we have different functions, of course, they're going to have different forms, right? That's just the way it is.
And things will never be the same.
I analyze. That is what I do. That is how I function. Everything I analyze. And for some people, that's an issue. For me, it's a pleasure. The things that I do for fun are like puzzles. I like puzzles. I put my brain to work to relax. So I was doing some counseling the other day, as in the recipient of. And one of the things that they asked was, what do you do in your non-working hours? And my response
Was work.
was, what are those? My idea of downtime is doing work I enjoy. So if I'm not working, I'm gonna pull up a graphic and start working on it for church, or play around with a logo or something. I will do something that I enjoy doing. Now there are elements of work that are frustrating, but the idea that I'm working to relax might indicate that there's some balance that might need to be restored. So when I thought about it, I can't tell you the last time I watched a whole Barcelona football game. I can't tell you the last time I watched cricket, even if it's an IPL. I can't tell you I watch any basketball. And the thing is, I like sports because it also helps, put that analysis to a more enjoyable expression.
Okay, I suppose because Chelsea lose yesterday.
I have no clue what any of that even means right now.
What, that Chelsea lose?
So that means Man U in position to...
Man U back in Champions League?
Or
And Chelsea lose to Nottingham
I'm
Forest.
clueless, and these are things that I enjoyed. So what I was looking at last week was I had to pause, and I told myself I'm gonna take a day. My birthday, I went to church, and then I was doing work, and then the days after that I was doing things. The days before that I was doing things. I was like, Carly, it didn't stop at all. So I took a day, run up the old emulator, and start to play some old video games. But every 2 seconds I'm stopping to check my phone or thinking that I have work to get to. I could not stop, and it made me very uncomfortable to know that I wasn't checking my phone for social media. I was just so prone to having to turn my attention to something like that when it came to just taking a couple hours to myself to relax, I could not do it. So you hit me. It was a very poignant statement that you made there, in the sense that now the grace that I have to have is to be able to pause and not feel guilty about it.
Before you used to say that the grace is the great backspace.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess that was referring to commenting to things online. But grace also has to be extended to knowing when to stop or when to pause, as the young people say, pause.
Yeah.
And I myself have an issue in terms of knowing when it's time to pause. And what someone has helped me greatly in that.
Yeah.
But also I can't depend on that person to always help me. So I have to now do things to make it more intentional. So for example, as I said before, beside the social media limitation, I also have a cutoff time. Where if I have to use my phone after a specific hour, I need to ask it for permission, essentially.
Right. So it creates an additional barrier to...
Right? And you could imagine you in the middle of playing this little weird, but I play 3 games religiously on my phone. Bingo, a car sorting game,
Okay.
where like they have a set of animated things and you have to sort them to get any cars and whatever. I don't know how else to explain it. And all fours. Those 3 things. And you can imagine you're in the middle of a game and then a notification come up. Your time limit has expired. Do you need 15 more minutes? That has now become a deterrent for me in terms of playing that game late in the night. What for me has also helped is the fact that you want to be able to switch off more, unplug, So to do that, you had to find other activities to replace it with.
Yeah.
And that activity could be something as simple as watching a series on Netflix. But here now, I know I probably hitting you and coughing you over and over and over today. But sometimes you just need, as I have received it on this end.
Here the catch with that Netflix thing, right? I will watch a series while I'm doing something. Now, second
The
screening.
white noise thing.
Yeah, second screening is an actual issue. Media and entertainment has realized that most people look at television
While on their
the
phone.
phones.
Yeah.
So what you get now is in the TV program, the people speak about what they're doing. So even if you're not looking at the screen,
Mhm.
they will keep you up to date as to what's happening.
You know,
while you're not
you know
watching.
what's very frustrating for me and something that I don't understand? The people who their online content
Mhm.
is them looking at something
Oh.
and telling you about it.
reaction
Yeah.
and reviews. Yeah.
And then I realized something you posted last week online, Cardo, where a lot of people are online talking about I show speed, but not enough people are talking about Jesus. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that was what you posted.
That's what I posted.
But for me, it was along the lines that I show speed is a big deal.
Mhm.
Just like I think on a last week, I can't remember if it was last week's show or just a casual conversation that we had, where we spoke about the fact that entertainment is changing.
Yeah.
And the sphere of what we know as entertainment, the old kick up, or
Yeah,
the
boy.
MacGyver,
A good
or
Western.
Baywatch, or something like that.
Speaking of Westerns. Anyway, you got time for that. Go ahead.
Nobody is really putting out that kind of show anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to find that on an old streaming platform and watch that on your own time.
Yeah.
But the majority of content now that is being put out via movies or TV shows or stuff like that is things that are meant to try to captivate or let us escape more. Because, let's face it, you go and watch Sisu, an
What's that?
old war movie.
Oh, hey, what you talking about?
You watch Sisu?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I kind of want to watch it. I'm going to look for it.
Or the next one, War Machine.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was really bad.
The thing is, Aaron, second screening is such a big issue that people are actually tailoring their writing, knowing that people are not looking at the screens. So you'll find that there's a dumbing down of the entertainment. Before you would have watched, and there would have been a scene where a guy chased somebody around a corner and into an alley and through the window. Let me say a cop drama.
Mhm.
And then the next scene, they'll be like, hey, what happened? He got away. Now, because they know people weren't actually watching the screen,
They're
here what
going
the
to
dialogue
explain how he got away.
Yeah, I chased him around the corner and he through the alley, got through a window and he got away. Because they know that you weren't actually watching the scene.
Yeah.
So what you get is a lot more of expository dialogue, which kind of, it kind of dumbs down.
It takes away from the value of watching something.
That's like us talking here and telling the listeners, knowing that they're not watching the screen, is like, wait, Aaron, what's the odds that both of us wearing different shades of khakis and blue jerseys, right?
Yeah, that's
No.
really weird though.
For the people who on the radio are not seeing us, that is something that's like, what, serious? And it's like, yes. It was kind of ironic, well, interesting at least, that we in matching outfits.
Essentially, yeah,
However,
that's really weird.
For the people who looking on YouTube, how unnecessary is it for us to bring it up and explain it? Like, hey, Aaron, despite the fact that we're in different shades, we're in pretty similar outfits.
Yeah, that's really weird.
But they're saying that because they know that people might be listening to the thing that they're supposed to be watching.
I went to work and I was probably up before Cardo.
Yeah, I literally
Get
put this on
dressed
4
before
minutes
Cardo.
before you reach. And the only reason I put on long pants is because not every week I'll show you guys my knees, okay? I mean, it's not like, out here just thirst trapping people. I mean, I lied. It really sound Victorian, maybe even Amish to talk about, showing off my knees as being. Anyway, as we said the point. So I'm two screening and I realized that I'm working while I have this white noise going on in the background because it gives my mind that second level of engagement that I've gotten accustomed to.
I tend to do that as well.
However, as somebody who loves analysis, I grew up hearing, oh, you just think too much. Hey, boy, you're real different. And hearing all those lovely things. But it allows me to actively listen to somebody while processing the information.
You don't believe. I think that was you were there for that when Terry came on the Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I popped in the room for
right, and she was talking about for her to learn her songs. First, she learns it in silence, and then she learns it in noise, meaning like walking down the road and them kind of things, so that nothing could throw her off when she is performing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. But here the catch now. What happens when I only have one thing to focus on? It's almost as if my attention starts seeking and also something else to support it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unhealthy. When it's time to go and sleep in the night now, luckily I could just switch off and call it a night. But what I realize is that I might just be adjusting to being overstimulated. It might not be a gift or a talent. Or even if it is a gift, it might be something that too much of anything is a bad thing. I might be overstimulated, and I need to be able to be still as well. I need to be able to slow down, otherwise I'll end up looking for things to keep me engaged. And that's just me sharing a personal reflection and revelation with you guys. But it is all of us in different ways. There are people who can't go home without taking that beer. There are people who can't start the day without the cup of coffee. There are people who, and that's me, I lie to tell you, I love my coffee. Right? But all of us have crutches, different types of crutches to support the way that we've modified our lives to manage the things we're going through. And I want to be able to explore who I am outside of some of those spaces. So it's necessary to take a break sometimes, to take a pause, to disrupt the routine.
You know what actually brings me joy now?
Besides meeting me to record?
No, that wasn't even an option.
Well, you can modify your list. Go ahead, actively listening.
But what brings me joy is driving in silence. Because I used to take in my morning shows and stuff like that on my commute. But now it's just silence in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Or silence in an afternoon. And it's not because sometimes I just don't want to hear the current affairs, or I don't enjoy the music that's on, or I just not feeling to listen to that today. But it gives me an opportunity to either prepare myself or decompress from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it will still have the moments where I'll get to work or get home and take a couple extra minutes in the car before I go inside. But that silence allows me the opportunity to decompress.
Mm-hmm.
What was today? Not how was, you know. I stop asking how was. Because sometimes how comes with the emotion.
What you know? Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's what was today.
Mm-hmm.
And I still ask how was at times. Because you have to remember, as a human being, emotion is important. But what was today?
Mm-hmm.
Was today a day where I was able to manage? Was today a day where I ran away from responsibility? Was today a day where I just balanced the two? Because we had admitted as well, there are times when being present in a space is enough.
Well, all right now.
I hit in the heart.
I feel attacked.
That's
I feel
good.
attacked.
That's good.
But I'm listening.
We have to accept that not every day you're going to be 100. Some days 20 is enough. Other days 68.2 might be enough. Out of that real random number there.
Rolls eyes for the listeners. Rolls eyes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Other days you'll operate at 99.7%.
Maybe even 112.
Now you could go more.
Through is go more, Aaron.
Kenny's really your partner. Right?
Hey, listen, watching that man function is something else, you know. Anybody who ever spent a day with Kenny Phillips will probably reassess how they use their time. I just put in that there.
I don't want to spend a day with Kenny Phillips. I've done it before and I don't want to do it again. Nah, but really and truly, guys, you need to to look at it and understand that you are never, ever going to achieve a dictionary definition of perfection.
Even a biblically definition of perfection only happens after the fact. That ain't happening here.
Right? What you can achieve is being good. What you can achieve is trying. What you can achieve is consistent effort. What you can achieve is learning more about yourself. But don't ever strive for perfection.
I will disagree, but I will acknowledge and agree. The disagreement is maybe not so much that I disagree. I think you aim as high as you can,
Right?
but don't let it ever take away
From where you fall.
from where you actually hit.
Sure.
Right? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Perfection is the enemy of excellence.
That perfection is the enemy of performance.
You know what? We will interpret and apply the definitions accordingly.
And no.
But I wouldn't. Well, let's look. Let's get in performance, Aaron. Tell us a little bit about.
Why I say perfection is the enemy of performance.
Yeah.
Is because if you just achieve perfection, you are not even going to try sometimes.
Right. So I get you. Agreed. And I could 100% endorse that perfection is the enemy of both excellence and performance.
Because let's put it this way. Let's say you're playing golf.
Mm-hmm.
You think you could achieve a hole in one every time?
No.
Sometimes you're gonna get par. Sometimes you go and get a bogey. Sometimes you'll get an eagle or a birdie
No.
or albatross.
I told you, Aaron, I'm not in touch with sports anymore. Right.
Brother man, I'm not talking sports like that, but just saying those are the golf terms. Birdie is -1, eagle is -2, I think it is.
Golf
Bogey
is
is
+4.
+1, double bogey +2, albatross plus how much ever.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Albatross?
I think so. Let's see.
Well, I'm saying, in agreement with what you said earlier, is that if perfection is your end game, it can deter you from even starting. Because there are people who plan and never actually start doing or executing. And one of the things, I'll tell you, I registered a business, and the thing that amazed me about it is how long I was planning on starting. And now that I've actually registered it, now it's like, okay, what next? What are the steps that I have to take? What are the things that I have to do? But if I don't do things while I'm planning and preparing, well, then I just end up in this weird space of always in preparation mode and never in actual execution mode. Our problem locally, not even locally, but our problem as human beings, right, is that we don't have enough. We have a lot of philosophers and we don't have enough people putting things into practice.
You know, it's real funny for me as you say that. For years, I have always wanted to or planned to cook a pilau.
Right.
I'm planning to cook this pilau.
Mm-hmm.
I will buy the chicken cut up stew
Mm-hmm.
and never cook the pilau.
And it's a shame, because your family, part of your family legacy is
A good pilau,
a good pilau.
right? I've tried for years.
Not saying
Not
it's-
sorry. I've planned for years to cook this
I mean,
pilau.
it's one of the foundations of our friendship. You know, one of the things that kept us
Last-
through the rough times.
Wow. Earlier this year or late last year, I attempted for the first time to cook this pilau.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say the hue of my rice came out like Ricardo.
A little chocolate, a little cocoa.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it lacked taste. You could have tasted the rice, you could have tasted the peas, but it wasn't, or the chicken, but it wasn't tasting everything coming together.
Right.
And I plan. I didn't bring my cookbook on the side. I plan. But you know what made me execute it? And next time, somebody was like, hey, let me try. Not me saying let me try, because I know I planning to do this pilau or perfect being able to make a pilau as good as my mom. But somebody else said let me try, and you know what I did? I went along with it.
So community matters.
The community also matters too. And if you realize, as the conversation goes on today, different elements of life are being introduced, and it's important to making you understand that all you have to do is sometimes pick up that mic and sing.
Dum.
Just pick up the mic and sing sometimes. You don't know if you'll be good, you don't know if you'll be bad, but you pick up the mic and sing to know where you're at, to know this is something I want to do or this is something I don't want to do.
Yeah, I get you. I right there with you. It is interesting that a lot of us are so afraid of failing that we don't realize the bigger disappointment is never even trying.
Funny enough, right? So I learned for years, persons have told me that allergies reset, right? And it's every 7 years your body's reset, and it could, if you had an allergy to this, it maybe you don't have it again and stuff like that. And that's how I was able to realize I don't have a shellfish allergy anymore.
You know, there's a biblical principle around that, right? Every 7 years there's a jubilee, right? There's a year where you don't work the fields and those types of things, because it's like the seventh
day,
like,
and
is the reset that it allows for. So farmers, will give the fields that year to, reset, to regenerate the nutrients and, to recover from being used now. So it's just interesting to hear you say that, your body resets every 7 years, and you discover that one of the consequences of that reset is that you don't have an allergy that I've known you had for as long as I've known you.
Some people will say that I didn't have allergy in the first place, but that's a whole other conversation.
That is a whole other conversation. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That is wild. I could actually, I would love to explore that in dialogue.
Not
sometime.
on air.
Yeah, no, that's
not
I don't know.
Yeah, but really, actually, because on Sunday morning I actually ate a piece of shrimp. Like, I'll say, even though that I realize I don't have it, I'm still not confident in it. Where I could see a crab and dumpling pass and be like, give me that.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't doing that yet.
But I've also heard people develop a tolerance by intentionally ingesting increasing amounts.
And you know what's the most common thing people do that with? Dairy.
Right.
Because everybody loves ice cream.
I like cheese.
Or everybody loves cheese. So that's the thing.
That is pretty cool though.
But I'm not saying if you have a shellfish allergy, just go and try something.
This is the disclaimer moment.
All I'm saying is...
With the screen? With this way cropping?
Wow.
This way cropping?
Yeah, yeah. All I'm saying is, don't be afraid to try something. But if you know you have allergic reactions, please have the necessary medication close at hand. Or don't go and do it in a public space.
All I saying is that I am hearing what Aaron Williams, Aaron 868 is saying. Cardo not saying that. Cardo is listening, actively listening.
No, but Cardo, like put it this way. If for years you're saying, by the way, I can't tolerate pepper, you wouldn't, if you're like, but you're going out everywhere and the food is spicy.
Yeah, you need to be able to, you should hopefully be able to develop some tolerance to environments that out of your control.
Right. But all I'm saying is, if you're doing that, make sure and have your things to take care of yourself close at hand.
Yeah, that's responsible. That's why I just boil my tap water and drink it now, right? Because I still want the nutrients and thing in the water.
Brother man, I don't care what nobody say. I still going on that pipe home and doing so.
That will be saying, because
gotta cup that hand.
Big up you, Wassa.
Cup that hand and drink.
Because these bottled water babies outside here have zero resistance to anything.
Right.
Anyway, let me not be ageist.
What?
No, talking about like in this generation, I grew up drinking only bottled water now. And They may understand how a good cold standpipe tap water used to be after a little sweat in the yard. And
Them know about sweating in the yard?
I mean, like, no.
Yeah.
Some do. Have you playing outside and thing again?
I've seen that on my street.
Well, yeah, it have some guys riding little bicycles and scooters and thing in the zone, playing little cricket in the road and stuff.
Serious? When, right?
Like why you something like these kids could be in primary school around.
Oh, right.
Yeah, don't be that guy. don't be, hey, young'uns, don't want to play some catch. Yeah.
No, brother, man. How I was looking at it as, and I think this is an element that we as adults also have to look at.
Mm-hmm.
If children are playing and you could join the game depending on the game, join the game.
Yeah.
It will show the kids that regardless of age, you can enjoy certain things.
And also don't be the people who just quarreling about children playing and making noise, and don't be that guy. You know, if the ball going in your yard, you want to send it back and them kind of thing. Don't be that guy.
Just to break my window.
I mean, I could respect that, but don't be that guy. It might be a bit of an annoyance, but they're going to outgrow it. And at some point in time or another, that might be the same youth who helping you tote your groceries inside,
Or change your tire.
change your tire, or
Jack up your car.
what things you don't know. Alright, hey neighbors, cutting some grass here. I'm gonna pass the rocker in front of you. You don't know.
Big up my neighbor for that.
Big up Aaron's neighbor.
Because he always, well, not always, most times if he's cutting the grass by him, he'd at least cut a 4 feet in by me. And recently I realized that he cut the whole backyard by me.
Yeah, what I was saying. So that man know Aaron's birthday coming up and he priming for him, right?
I have a birthday coming up here, boy.
That man know
I keep forgetting that.
Aaron family feel out legendary.
Actually, he does know my family.
But that was saying I'm just saying your mother feel out how plenty of your relationships going better than they would have been otherwise. You know? Big up your auntie Joe. So what we're saying is community matters.
She make us sweet bread then.
What? She makes sweet bread? You no longer eat sweet bread. I am Denise, my cousin, whom I love very, very, very dearly, and who was also present in church for my birthday.
Just only me wasn't there.
Sweet bread. B. No, it wasn't only you. Couple people who, one of my brethren ended up having to go to Tobago for work, that kind of thing. Big up Naeem. Came through.
Lando was there.
Lando was there. And he wasn't wearing a hat.
Obviously, he was in church.
You realize?
The only 2 times I've seen Lando without a hat, I've been in church.
Right, yeah. And well,
I've had his wear hat in the house, you know.
Literally, as soon as his wedding service was done,
He put on the hat.
before he hit the door, one of the things I had to do was give him his hat. Right? So he was absent hat for the ceremony.
Which was all of 45 minutes to an hour.
Right. Fantastic stuff, man. But all I'm saying is community matters. We're talking about some things here today that are going to make a lot more sense in the near future. Right? But right now, I like the P this week, the planlessness of the thing, where we got into a real conversation, the type of conversation we would have had while you're stuck in traffic, or we called to talk about something else and we just segued into the things, the matters, the matters that matter. And I like the reminder that it's okay to pause, the reminder that it's okay to have grace with yourself. For me, the trust in the Lord that, hey, brother man, if you don't do something for 10, 20 minutes for a day, the world will shut down and slow down because you didn't function.
You know, the funny part as you mentioned that.
Real funny parts today, But go ahead.
The funny part about it is some people will think prayer is doing nothing.
Like them.
No, understand where I'm going with this, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say prayer is doing nothing, or prayer is too much, or I need to be in a certain place or a space to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You could be in traffic and say a prayer.
Let's be watching ways and praying.
You could be watching TV and praying.
Sometimes in a meeting and praying.
Right? Or before you go in the meeting, you have to pray.
Listen.
Right? But the thing about it is, prayer and meditation is an important part of it as well. And if you want to be that person, that could be a break. Mm-hmm. That is why I say prayer is doing nothing. because it's not diminishing the act of praying, but that could be a break.
The trust that you have in God to let something go.
And just take that moment and be still. And if even as a simple prayer as the Our Father.
You know what you're describing there is one of the things I actually taught on that last week. Right? That even that trust in the Lord at that time where you just let go of the thing. We hate to let go because we are afraid of what happens if we can't control something. And what you're talking about there is not just prayers, is also worship, is trust, is relationship. You can imagine you're in a relationship with somebody, and if you don't feel trusted, you don't feel like you're in a real relationship. That's a thing we don't recognize, that trust is not just an agreement you have to believe the person, It's also a way that you make the person feel. So Aaron, if you tell me, hey, Ricardo, let me get a bottle of water now, and I come and I bring you a label-less bottle, and you don't know, wait, I could be bleach, better I ain't butter.
I'm tasting a little off,
It may be a little off, but I'm not in your trust now. And what happens is, if you don't drink this, because you could not confirm for yourself what it is, then what you're telling me is that you only trust me as far as you could verify.
That's not trust.
That is not trust.
Now, and I'm glad we ended with this. It came up naturally in today's conversation.
These natural upcomers, I don't know. Let me move on.
Yeah, please. That wasn't the strongest moment.
It has happened.
That wasn't the strongest
Where the
moment.
grace, Aaron?
I have grace
Where the grace?
before meals that I didn't have as yet.
Their belly is pulling.
What?
Because
If only hear any low-key grumbling on the recording, that is my belly. But really and truly, I'm glad this came up now. We talk about having grace with ourselves.
Yeah.
We talk about having grace with our family members and our friends. But we also have to have grace with our leaders.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And leaders in all the different spheres of life.
Yes. The teacher in your child classroom, the policeman who directing or not directing traffic.
Or causing more traffic.
Subject to perspective. Yeah, but go ahead.
But we need to have grace with our leaders in society. Because we have to face it. They are also consuming a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of statistics, and have to make decisions sometimes without all the information being present. And I know people don't like to hear that part, but there are decisions that are made by leaders without all the information present, because it may not be readily available, or systems may be down and may not be able to give you up-to-date information.
Or there's deliberate obfuscation of information so that you will accept what I present to you as factual.
But we need to give our leaders grace. Now, and I have to phrase this very carefully because I don't want this to seem that this is only a political statement. This is totally apolitical here.
That's why we talk about school teachers and police and...
Right?
Yeah.
We live in a world where people demand instant change. If things look too sharp, we might have instant water selling just now. Right? Just like how we have instant kalaloo.
Yeah.
Instant dal.
Yeah.
All these different things. We might have instant water, but not all change, not all progress comes in an instant. Sometimes it needs time. Sometimes it needs the opportunity for persons to get their foot in and see where it is to then make it progress further. But what we have to understand that the grace we asking for is for persons to understand that it can't happen overnight. You can ask questions, but understand that it can't happen overnight. Before there was a saying that you needed to comply, then complain.
Yeah.
But in a conversation I had, I think was last week, Wednesday, I think an adjustment needs to be made to that. We need to switch it from a place of comply then complain to comprehend then complain. Because if you don't understand, you are just complaining because. If you don't understand where we are, you can't complain we ain't reached there yet. if you don't understand what is happening now, you can't ask the question of our leaders, why we in reach day?
I like
Comprehend
I like it.
first and then ask questions or then complain.
I like it.
But
I
in that
also-
period of comprehension,
yeah.
just to close this loop, in the period of comprehension, that is where the grace should apply. Because you can't complain about something you don't know about. But you're taking the time to learn it, but you're still trying to complain while you're learning.
And that is the thing I wanted to interject with in a supporting capacity. I believe that I agree. Replace comply and complain with comprehend and complain. However, I don't think it should be one before the other. In whatever state you are in,
Should be a
you
symbiotic relationship.
you should be able to move to the next state and continue the cycle of comply and complain. Of comprehend and complain. Because comprehension and complaint is where improvement comes from. Recognizing that it can be better, but also understanding the system it's functioning in so that you can make it better. It's an arc of continuous improvement where, hey, I might not understand a system, but I can be impacted negatively by the way it's failing me.
Right, that's right.
I don't need to go and study law to come and say that I feel treated unfairly by the way this police officer dealt with me.
Like a senator said, that law should be a prerequisite to enter in the political landscape.
I agree with that to a degree. I also believe that police officers should be degreed,
We what?
have degrees.
That's a whole other conversation right now.
What I'm saying is, anyway,
There should be certain matriculation standards to get into certain professions, and we could all agree on that.
I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is that for people who have the potential on any given day to take life, they should have evidence that they can be subject to system accountability, peer review. I
would say just degrees. I would say they should have some kind of psychometric evaluation. But as I say, that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole lot of conversation. But what I'm saying is these people are in positions where they can escalate, diffuse, or exterminate.
See that?
Right? I'm just saying that if I can't give advice to people without a degree, consider how much more
Or without the proper matriculation
without
standards.
proper
be it.
matriculation standards. Imagine how much more dangerous it is for me to function in that level of authority with that level of potential outcome.
Without any proper,
Anyway,
without the proper standards.
it have people we could talk to about that. We actually know some big shot people. Saw one of them in the wedding the other day. Took a really, really lovely picture. Anyway, we go line up all them things.
You get married again?
What?
Somebody get married again?
In
Sorry?
jail wedding.
You used to in jail? Anyway. Yeah.
Remember the psychologist?
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, speaking of that, she sent me a message last week and I didn't respond as yet, so I need to respond
That's
to that
terrible
message.
because she's been very, very, very kind to us over the years. Anyway,
It was shippiness you was talking.
all right.
So, yeah, we'll talk.
Big up you, Brittany. So what I'm saying is that we should be able to comprehend and complain
Simultaneously.
But we should also complain with the intention of moving towards a better outcome.
Yeah, but you see, that's a difficult thing you're asking there. Because the average person complaining is just that. Few complain with the opportunity for improvement.
Aaron, in case you didn't know, I'm not the average person. And I have zero
Yeah, because the average
desire
person know when to rest.
We'd have work to do.
Yeah, but you can't work when you're dead.
Exactly, that's why I had to do it now.
Stop playing with Kenny.
That's gonna get considerably harder. But again, all of that I'm gonna find out soon now.
Stop playing with Kenny. Because we really have to remember that go Paul luck and see Paul luck.
Fair.
So you working all the time may work for you, but somebody else working all the time could be the detriment of their health.
Well, take the meat and leave the bones. Alright? Take what you could from the situations that you can and leave what is not for you.
So how you know what not for you?
Try it. I mean, that's certain things just not for anybody, yeah? Let me be real. Let me be real. And I'm actually gonna say it in big. Say no to drugs, guys. say no to drugs. Right? Youths, whichever youth might happen to be listening, or in a taxi, or in a store where whack is being played,
Or
and
home.
you actually, or home, and you hearing us right now, youths, forget our pill life now. Seriously. Seriously. And not because they decriminalize something means that they don't have any laws or restrictions against it. And not only that, too, all the jacking up all the brain. And give yourself a chance. Give yourself a legit chance. Life hard enough already with all the things that you're doing to make it harder for yourself. Anyway, we got time to talk them kind of thing. Hi, cool. But Aaron, thanks for the way that you started the program and the course that you took us on, because it was very helpful for me in terms of settling one or two things that were stirring. And also you've given me, hey, you shouldn't crack my knuckles so close to the speaker. You see what I did there? Because this is what is going to happen. People who not looking and hearing, we talking all these things so that they understand what's going on camera. Yeah. I think it's time for me to be a little more assertive. To be a little more assertive in the types of content and the types of conversations that I'm having. Right? I think it's time for me to move from promoting positivity to provoking positivity. So whatever monster that you've made, feel good about it, man. Feel good about it. I am about to get a whole lot better / worse.
I think it's worse.
And they'll have you to thank for it.
Nope. That is all Ricardo. I have no part to play in that. Because at no point today did I say anything about getting more assertive.
No, I think that's what you've been saying here in the undertones. Right? And this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social.
Just now, no. I know we perilously close, but we're back to this point of the thing now.
What point?
At what point did I say be more assertive? I remember we had a whole debate about saying things and meaning something else.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say or mean that today.
Your neighbor, right, cutting his grass and cutting 4 feet into your yard.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't have to tell him to do that, but you appreciated his assertiveness. You benefited from what he was willing to do. So I figure, I don't have a whacker and I don't cut your grass, but you know what I do, Aaron? We have conversations, casual conversations on serious topics. I can answer to cut more grass, and that is because of you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
I have a piece of land with some grass to cut there. I could not let the walk and it could go.
Time to cut some conversational grass so good you could run.
Then say that. There's a difference between cutting grass and cutting conversational grass.
I'm gonna cut conversational grass, people.
Then don't cut it with me.
Fine. Maybe I'll cut some grass by myself.
It is what it is. We are perilously close to the hour of 7 p.m. here in Trinidad. There you go. Mr. Desmond is up next with the big band, and he is in the building already. Remember, keep it locked to the True Nation station, WACK 90.1 FM. As you learned on the March Grass Sunday night, is where all calypsos are played. All. Mm-hmm. Right? Close off there.
This is Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the global stage. Thank you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. And I'm looking forward to cutting some grass on my own.
Yours truly, Aaron 868. I remind you each and every time that cult is my code. Also, love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them. As we close off really quickly, this Sunday is Mother's Day. For some of you who are still blessed to have your mothers there with you, please don't just wait till Sunday to appreciate them, but appreciate the impact that your mothers have had on your life every single day. If it's something as simple as a thank you or hey moms, how you going, something. But also remember that there are those who are going to be celebrating on Mother's Day on Sunday, probably for the first time without their mom, or without their mom in their lives.
Or mothers who
persons who would have lost their mother years ago.
Or mothers who would have lost their kids.
Wow. I didn't look at it from that perspective. But have grace for the mothers or the persons without their mothers being there, or the mothers without their children. Have that grace for them. Reach out to them and just reassure them that you are there for them. right? Amidst it all, reassurance is very important. Reassure yourselves, reassure your family, reassure your community and your country that you are there. Keep it locked. Mr. Desmond is up next.